Hello and welcome to the Friday edition of Political Roundup on VOP TV. I am your host, Jerry Arpelai. Once again, welcome to the Political Roundup, which is your premier destination for in-depth analysis of today's most critical political issues and their profound impact on society. Join us as we navigate the complexities of the political arena with our team of seasoned analysts, bringing a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the forefront. Before delving into today's discussions, we'll offer a comprehensive overview of the key topics shaping the political landscape, ensuring you are well prepared and equipped to engage with the day's most significant conversations. First on the agenda today, the House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development is probing the 1.5 billion naira meant for the payment of contractors, but allegedly diverted by principal officers of the Ministry of Women Affairs. The Director of Finance of the Ministry, Aloy Ife-Kando, during an interactive session with the committee on Thursday, said he only complied with official directives from his superiors, saying the records were available. The session followed a petition by contractors of the ministry to the House of Representatives over non-payment of contracts executed running into billions of naira. Speaking during the interactive section, the chairman of the committee, Kafilat Ogbara, alluded that the ministry initiated new contracts not captured in the 2023 budget and diverted 1.5 billion naira funds for old contractors. Anyway, from that, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed his disappointment with the poor electricity power generation in Nigeria despite the country's vast size. During the inauguration of a 31-member Presidential Economic Coordination Council at the council chamber within the presidential villa in Abuja, President Tinubu said it was shameful that Nigeria is still producing 4,500 megawatts of electricity. The Nigerian leader highlighted the necessity for creative approaches to address the nation's economic issues, emphasizing the role of collaborations between the public and private sectors in spearheading economic changes. He pointed out the issue of energy security in Nigeria, stressing the need for collective efforts to enhance the oil and gas industry and to expand the generation and distribution of electricity across the nation. Now, from that, in the related development, the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has stated that Nigeria's economy can be turned around in months if the right policies and planning are implemented. In an interview with the press, Dangote shared his thoughts on President Bola Tinubu's inauguration of the 31-member Presidential Economic Coordination Council, PECC, at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja on Thursday, July 4, 2024. This event took place 3 months after the committee's establishment on March 27, 2024. The committee includes President Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, and the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Yemi Cardoso. Additionally, 13 members from the organized private sector, including Dangote, UBA chairman Tony Elumelu, and BOA founder Abdul Samad Rabiu, will serve on the council for 1 year. Dangote emphasized the importance of collaboration between the private and public sectors to improve the lives of Nigerians. After this brief pause, we'll delve further into these topics and more. Stay tuned as our discussion unfolds. All right, welcome back. Now let's explore the core of our discussion. We start off with the House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development is probing the 1.5 billion naira meant for the payment of contractors, but allegedly diverted by principal officers of the Ministry of Women Affairs. The Director of Finance of the Ministry, Aloy Ife-Kando, during an interactive session with the committee on Thursday, said he only complied with official directives from his superiors, saying the records were available. The session followed the petition by contractors of the ministry to the House of Representatives over non-payment of contracts executed running into billions of naira. Speaking during the interactive session, the chairman of the committee, Kafilat Ogbara, alluded that the ministry initiated new contracts not captured in the 2023 budget and diverted 1.5 billion naira funds for old contractors. The Director of Finance of the Ministry, Aloy Ifekandu, during an interactive session with the committee on Thursday, said he only complied with official directives from his superiors. All right, the session followed the petition by contractors of the ministry to the House of Representatives over non-payment of contracts executed running into billions of naira. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by an esteemed guest here in the studio. We have Mr. Peter Nosike, a distinguished development economist, best-selling author, and national analyst. All right, and of course, he's also a philosopher, very vast in politics, and of course, a power. It's great to have you joining us on Political Roundup once again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, in light of recent scandals like the Ministry of Women Affairs alleged fund diversion, how can we ensure accountability and transparency in government spending?
Well, it is unfortunate that women affairs should be embroiled in scandal because women are the world. Understand? Women are the world. They are the mothers. So when they begin to involve in corruption, what is the future of the world? So for me, it pains me when I hear such things because in other countries of the world, we hear positive things about the women. But in Nigeria, is the opposite. So, contract in Nigeria, people buy contracts. People pay for contracts. And when they pay it, they will now execute based on how much they are going to make out of that contract. So contract in Nigeria is for the highest bidder. And that's why shoddy jobs are always being done. Imagine a contract of 100 million, you are asked to buy for 30 million. So what is going to be the outcome of that contract? Basically, you are not going to use the best of materials.
Definitely.
And the person that compromise will not do effective oversight.
Yes.
That's why there's always that our infrastructure doesn't stay. That's not supposed. So, for me, the woman who said that she acted based on instructions from her superiors in the civil service, you obey orders. So when I'm sure that EFCC should look into this case, and all those people who use this ministry as a conduit pipe should be brought to book because it has been happening. And I know that anything social in Nigeria cannot work. You cannot talk of social affairs when there's no data. And that's the same thing that happened to humanitarian affairs when Omar Farouk was there and when Betta Edu was also there. And if you check the former Minister of Women Affairs under Buhari, Pondin Tannen, didn't end well because of what? Corruption. He was even banned from holding a political office. A woman. The first to be banned from holding political office in Nigeria, a woman. So I feel that EFCC should look into it and make sure that whoever took money that he or she did not work for must be meant to refund it with interest. So that's what what I'm to say that's on the issue.
Yeah, if you take a look at it, a lot of blame games, and with the fact that the permanent secretary talking about Mr. Gabriel Alduda actually exonerated himself, saying that in 2023 they had a total budget of 13.6 billion, while the total release was 3.4 billion. And we can see that it shows that there were a lot of misplaced priorities. For instance, the Women's Affairs Ministry actually revealing, according to the documents available through Ife Kandu, he said that they had to pay the school fees of Chibok schoolgirls, and they were going to pay their fees at the American University of Nigeria, Yola, for the next 7 years. And they purchased tricycles for army barracks in Abuja. Okay, talking about military barracks in Abuja, and so many other ways to at least show that this 1.5 billion was used in doing other things instead of paying the contractors that were actually meant the budget was meant for.
Well, the American Nigerian University in Yola is owned by Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
So, but the issue is this: money should be channeled that to what was
It's meant for.
it's meant for. Diverting it is a criminal act. Diverting such money is a criminal act. And whoever spends money on a different cause other than what it was budgeted for should be made to account for it. And I have said in this program that there's a difference between money budgeted and money approved. So 10 billion might be budgeted, but 5 million will be approved. So we should be talking about the money that was approved, not the money that was budgeted. So from there, we can now actually know if at the contrast, if what was meant for the money was used for. If not, then it's a criminal act. Even if it was donated to a motherless baby's home. Understand me?
There should be receipts.
No, money that is supposed to be used to build a borehole, and you donated it to a modern baby's home is a criminal act because it's not what it is.
That is what is meant, not what it is meant for.
Sure. Even though what you did is good, understand, but it's not what it is meant for. You did a good thing, but not the right thing.
All right. Meanwhile, the committee has summoned the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, to appear before it on Tuesday, July 9th. And the committee also ordered that the ministry to stop all contract process in 2024 until the matter is resolved, while demanding for the special account for the Chibok girls and the MOU. For instance, these documents are being asked for when the minister arrives and they are not able to provide it and start giving excuses. What should be the next line of action?
Well, EFCC should move in that to find out what actually is happening. And there's Ohanenye should also try that to tell his own side of the story.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, but if you take a look at it, talking about mismanagement, we all know what happened in the Humanitarian Affairs Ministry, how it was shut down. If it's proven that even the women who are given responsibility in their own ministries are having one-term corruption issues and so on and so forth, maybe high time the men should come back and take over the Ministry of Women Affairs. Is that should be the case?
What we want is who will deliver.
Whether a man or a woman.
Whether a man or a woman. If a man can do better in the Ministry of Women Affairs, let a man be appointed there.
How would the women feel knowing that a man is handling the Ministry of Women Affairs?
Because the women have been fending. The women have been fending.
So what's the difference between them and the men? Because even the men too will also know.
It's character. It's character.
Okay? Not about personality, whether a man or a woman.
No, it's character. It's character. It's character. Some people don't know how to control their desires. This is just a problem of one's desire.
Are we saying the women have more desires? Because we also know the story of Alice Madueke, the former Minister of Petroleum. it looks like our desires were much more than the former ministers when it comes to the men.
Well, it depends on their desires. It's the desire that causes people to sin or to understand me.
To steal.
Yes.
Okay.
If you can control your
Desires.
the desires.
All right, let's go back to the next of the agenda, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed his disappointment with the poor electricity power generation in Nigeria despite the country's vast size. And during the inauguration of a 31-member Presidential Economic Coordination Council and the council chamber within the presidential villa in Abuja, President Tinubu said it was shameful that Nigeria is still producing 4,500 megawatts of electricity. The Nigerian leader highlighted the necessity for creative approaches to address the nation's economic issues, emphasizing the role of collaborations between the public and private sectors in spearheading economic changes. He pointed out the issue of energy security in Nigeria, stressing the need for collective efforts to enhance the oil and gas industry and to expand the generation and distribution of electricity across the nation. Meanwhile, President Tinubu unveiled strategies that will be implemented alongside the National Construction and Household Support Program to steady the economy, boost employment opportunities, and promote financial stability. The strategies fall under the Economic Stabilization Program, which includes initiatives for energy, security, covering power, oil, and gas. The goal is to raise the amount of electricity available to both homes and businesses from approximately 4,500 to 6,000 and over the next 6 months. And of course, increase oil output to 2 million barrels per day by the end of the next year and remove obstacles to investment in the sector to improve its competitiveness. He mentioned that the Economic Stabilization Program also focuses on agriculture and food security, aiming to increase the production of staple crops by small-scale farmers from 127 million metric tons in 2023 to 135 million metric tons in this year, talking about by the end of this year. Okay, now the question. President Tinubu highlighted the goal of increasing Nigeria's electricity generation to 6,000 in 6 months. How realistic are these targets, given past challenges in the power sector?
Well, when you talk about white pepper, Nigeria is #1 in the world. We know how to do documentation. We know how to write beautiful things on paper. But the political will to implement what is on the paper is what we doesn't have in this country. So what Tinubu said is positive. That's if they can walk the talk. But that Nigeria is having a country of over 220 million people, have just 4,500 megawatts of electricity is a disaster. It's not even shameful. It is a disaster. But if Tinubu wants Nigeria to achieve a stable power supply, the money that he used for the Lagos-Calabar road will have given Nigeria over 20,000 megawatts. The money, the contract for the Lagos-Calabar road will have given Nigeria 20,000 megawatts. And if we have 20,000 megawatts, we will be having steady power supply. Because this 4,500 will not even be enough for Lagos State alone. Because what Lagos State needs, because in electricity supply, we have ordinary period and peak period. Peak period is early in the morning and in the evening. Let me say 7 to 9. Then 7 to 9 in the morning, 7 to 9 in the evening. These are all the peak periods. So what Lagos State needs is 2,500 megas ordinary period. Then peak periods, 2,700 megawatts. So when you give Lagos State alone 2,700, what remains in that 4,500 to be shared all over the country for the 35 remaining states and FCT. So that's why we are not having a stable power supply. Then going down the years, when Obasanjo came on board in 1999, he had a vision to develop 10,000 megawatts by 2007. That's, President Obasanjo.
Yes.
To develop 10,000 megawatts by 2007. But he left it at 3,000 megawatts. That's when he was handing over to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
Yes.
He left it at 3,000 megawatts. So Umaru Musa Yar'Adua felt that 10,000 megawatts was an ambitious project.
Yes.
He reduced it to 6,000 megawatts. That's in 2007.
Yes.
That's when we are talking about 6,000 megawatts. But he couldn't do it. He left it at 3,500 because he stayed only about 2 years.
2 years minimum.
So Jonathan came in when the power supply was at 3,500. Then Jonathan wanted to continue with that 6,000 megawatts. But he left in 2015 with 4,500. In 2015 was 4,500.
So in the past 8 years of Buhari's government,
Nothing.
0 megawatts.
Nothing.
Wasted 8 years.
So all the money on electricity for the Buhari's 8 years is nothing.
What about the talk about Fashola before he took over as power minister, saying that any government that does not do anything about power supply in 1 year is an irresponsible government? He was there for 4 years. Does that spark of irresponsibility or not?
Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. What Fashola said that any government that cannot achieve stable power supply in 6 months is irresponsible. But Fashola was there for 4 years. Fashola was there for 4 years and he couldn't move an inch. Understand me?
Instead, it was getting worse.
So it was getting worse. So Tinubu talking about 6,000 megawatts now, which people has talked over almost 20 years ago. To me, it shows that Nigerians are not moving forward. It shows that Nigeria, and even at that, it cannot take us to anywhere.
Let's take a look at the areas they are going to look at. For instance, if they are going to achieve the 6,000 megawatts, are we going to continue with the areas of relying on oil and gas with renewable energy sources to ensure the sustainable development? No. Or in terms of that, other countries are relying on solar, for instance, depending on the region with their peculiarities, so as to maximize those opportunities there to generate megawatts of power supply, as you may call it.
The issue is this: no country in the world Nigeria is relying on hydro. That's on the dams.
Yes.
That's hydroelectricity.
Yes.
But other countries have other sources of energy. Understand? Like the solar, like the wind, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But in Nigeria, all of us have our eggs in one basket.
Which is really bad for a nation with such size and population.
Which is too bad. And in other countries like Canada, South Korea, local governments have power to have that authority to generate their own electricity. Local government generates their own electricity. Understand? Municipals, councils has that authority to generate their own electricity. But here it is only left at the center.
But let's not forget, there was a bill that was widely celebrated by this APC government from Buhari's time and when Tinubu came into power, where there was a bill signed that states and individuals can now generate power. Why have they not been able to maximize that bill?
Well, for me, just like Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah said that Enugu will have the steady power supply by 2025. So which means something is going on there. So do other states too.
Okay. Like
So
Abia State and Co.
that's Abia State is that's a, it's a private project.
Okay, not a government
No,
project.
no, no. It's the but Onaji some that is a private project, though backed with government support.
Okay.
So, but if if we decentralize the electric generation and distribution, it is going to have positive impact instead of relying on the national grid by 220 million people. You decentralize it so that each state can generate their own electricity. It will bring competition, understand? Because some other states in the country want to do what Abia State has done, what Bat Energy did in Aba. So nothing grows the economy like competition.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
why capitalism is the best system of economy.
But right here in Nigeria, it looks like capitalism has shown that only the rich and the political elites
No,
are
only
benefiting.
no, only capitalism benefits those who are willing to struggle.
But it looks like our politicians don't even want to have that face.
No, that's what for us. I can say that we want a kind of a welfarean economy
Okay, where we have to get everything from the
from
government.
the government. Understand me?
But the government has to create an enabling environment for Nigerians to be able to thrive individually. Let's look at the last dispensation under Jonathan's time. And let me not in comparison in a little bit. We had a situation where the economy was doing okay because there was level playing ground where every Nigerians were succeeding. For instance, we have multiple numbers of billionaires. But how many billionaires can we count now? Only those who have directly benefited from the government. For instance, how many
Jerry,
billionaires can we count in Nigeria? Billionaires are reducing every day.
Jerry,
Yes.
let me tell you that you are surviving in business. It's not that business is getting easy. It's because you are getting tougher.
Okay.
Understand me? It is because you are getting tougher. That's what makes you succeed. Not that business is becoming easy. It can never be easy. Understand? So it is only those who are willing to go that extra that will succeed. So that's we are making efforts as human beings in Nigeria. That's hard work is in our DNA, but we are using more of our more of our body than our mind. That's why what we are doing is not translating. Understand me?
Okay. President Tinubu mentioned removing obstacles to investment in the energy sector. What specific reforms are needed to attract both domestic and foreign investment, and most especially in the power sector?
One, because all these Gencos, that generating companies, understand? Then discos, the distributing companies are all owned by politicians. Understand?
Okay. Yes.
It is politicians that are giving licenses for all this, and they are seeing it as their entitlement. So they rely more on government giving them subventions.
All right.
So, but if they give it to true entrepreneurs, so that it can be run as a business, it will go a long way. Now, imagine what Dangote is facing now. People are trying to frustrate him.
Okay.
So, if he's given to a real thoroughbred businessman, it should be run as a business, because now they are running it as a kind of a communal project. That's why they are saying that they need money from government so that they will not go out of business.
All right, considering Nigeria's diverse economic challenges, how feasible is it to simultaneously tackle energy, agriculture, and economic stability under one program? Because it's quick to say they want to do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. If they are doing everything at the same time, do you see any success all at once in all of these sectors when it comes to energy, agriculture, and
Well,
economic stability?
if competent people are put in different
Sectors.
sectors, it will go well. But you cannot do agriculture without with insecurity. So that is one area they should be mindful of.
And if we take a look at this economic team that has been set up and inaugurated yesterday, we are not seeing generals or ex-generals who know about insecurity in that setup. Are we saying that they are ignoring insecurity?
This is an economic team.
Yes. Yes.
Not a military team.
No, for instance, you just mentioned insecurity as one of the challenges in agriculture, for instance. If you are going to talk about success of agriculture and you're only talking about fertilizers, you are forgetting the farmers need to be able to access the ground to plant and fertilize. So if they don't feel safe, if there's no coordination between them and those who have to
They will
provide
not
security,
go to the farms.
they will not go to the farms. So how will the agricultural sector succeed?
So that's why I say you cannot talk of agriculture when there's insecurity. In the same way, you cannot talk of development when there's absence of peace. So they should be mindful of the real situation in the country. The reason why farmers are not farming. But for me, this economic team is better than going to United States, going to Germany, going to France to look for investors. Because these people are Nigerian, people who have done business in Nigeria, who understand how Nigeria works. It is not everybody that understands how a country works. So these people understand how Nigeria works. So they can bring up ideas that can work in Nigeria. Understand me? So that's why I feel that it is a good move.
Okay, talking about working together and ignoring the generals who are supposed to provide the security, and so maybe they will have a collaboration, maybe outside the economic team.
Buhari was a general and commander-in-chief in 8 years. What happened? Boko Haram became
involved into bandits.
Understand? Under Buhari's 1 year in office, 10,200 people were killed under the watch of a military high-ranking officer.
Okay, what role should the public and the private sectors play in achieving the goals outlined in the economic stabilization program, particularly in enhancing energy production and food security?
Well, they need the government. It's cooperation.
Okay.
It is cooperation, but before cooperation works, there must be trust.
All right.
There must be, but those in the private sector don't trust those in government, because those in government have not been transparent.
Yes.
When you hear the billions of naira that those in government are stealing, so you not want to do business with such people. So government should make the masses to trust them by bringing out policies and programs that will favor them.
All right. And of course, it looks like we'll continue to go around the whole situation as the time continue to go. As far as this one is concerned, what's for you the foreseeable future? In 6 months' time, are we going to have this economic team succeed? And even Dangote is saying that they have what it takes to actually make things happen in 6 months. Now they are involved. Are we going to have a change once and for all?
If there's political will, there could be change. If there could be political will, understand, there could be a positive change in 6 months.
All right, there could be a positive change in 6 months, and that is coming from Mr. Peter Anosike, is a philosopher, well grounded in politics, and of course, he knows his onions. He has made some very interesting predictions here, and they eventually somehow find a way to come to pass. Can we say you're a political philosopher as well as a political prophet?
I understand how Nigeria works.
All right, he understands how Nigeria works. It's been a pleasure having you on Political Roundup. We hope to have you on Monday when you join us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, and of course, as we conclude today's Political Roundup, we thank you for joining us. Catch us again next week at the same time on our YouTube channel, Voice of the People TV. Stay connected with us on all the social media platforms on our VOP TV Live. I am your host, Jerry Arpelioi. Have a great weekend.